Hey guys, Joe with BitRage. So I wanted to jump in here and talk about Bitcoin here for a few minutes. Is the bubble finally breaking? Is this all just going to come crashing down? If you look on Twitter, there are a ton of people just saying, oh, this is a bubble. We've finally met the end. It's all crashing. This is much bigger than the Mississippi, South Sea, Tech, and Tulip bubbles. The mother of all bubbles is now crashing. Just a ton of people saying this, and there's even a Twitter account, the Bitcoin bubble. So are we nearing the end of the value of cryptocurrency? And these are questions that people ask when they don't understand crypto. We are in a major correction, and honestly, there is not a person that can tell you for sure, for exact, when this is going to turn around and enter a bull trend again and start going back up. Nobody knows. There are some things we can look at and kind of deduce when something might turn around, but you have to understand that the trading here is not the only thing that influences the price of Bitcoin. Futures also heavily influence the price, and futures can manipulate the price too, and there's people looking into that. Is futures manipulating the price of Bitcoin? That's a possibility, but we can look at a chart like this. We can see some indications of what's going on. I will tell you this for sure: if you're trading and you're a trader, unless you're extremely experienced and you know exactly what you're doing, you should probably stop. And even if you are experienced, you should probably stop, because it's just way too dangerous and volatile to trade in an environment like this. I did make some trades here. I bought down here and sold up here. That was more me messing around and not serious trades. I would not encourage anybody to trade here until the market starts turning around and we start seeing a serious bull trend again, because it's just not safe, especially if you're new and you don't really understand the market, you don't understand how to read charts. You should probably stay away from it for now. But I did want to show you a couple things here. One of those is a 200-day moving average is a good indication of what is going on with a stock or an asset. Anything that has a chart on it, a 200-day moving average can give you a good indication of what is going on. And essentially what it does is it allows you to see whether or not a stock or an asset is healthy. Stocks above a 200-day moving average are considered healthier, and it helps determine the overall health of the market, as this page here says. So this is a 200-day moving average, this red line, and as you can see, we broke through it here on this candle. This is a one-day chart. Now, what that tells you is when a stock breaks through a huge technical indicator like this, a 200-day moving average, it tells you that we're going to see a bounce back up off of that, and then we should see it come back and retest it. That is exactly what we saw here. You look here, we saw a bounce up off the moving average, the 200-day moving average, and we should see that come back and retest this level here. As we can see in this candle, kind of indicates that. But essentially, we're in a spot in the market, we're in a time where we just don't know what's going to happen. Now, there are some levels of support that you can see here, and you can kind of determine, well, is it going to go below this? If it goes below this, then it's going to keep going. This is an interesting analysis here from one of the guys at TradingView, that post on TradingView, and he drew this out and he said that 8,700 is your first target. If it breaks through that, you're going to go down to a second target of about 6,400. And why he said this is because up here at 8,400, we have a level of support here. As you can see, we're kind of stuck here at the current time. We have a level of support here, but then down at 6,400, or about 6,400, we have this level of support. And up here we have a level of support at about 7,000. So it has to break through these, and it did break through 8,000. 8,000 was a major level of support here. It did break through that, and so I would say we can expect to see this to continue at least for a little while. We can draw here a kind of a falling wedge pattern, and what this kind of indicates to you is that we're going to continue this trend for a little while at least, and then we're going to see it turn up and go this way. But when that happens, nobody really knows for sure. We've got to see what happens today and frankly the next couple days. See if this comes back down, retest this level. If it breaks through again, we're likely to see it continue in a downtrend, at least for a little bit. Right now, this is a very bearish market. There is no bull runs. This is a completely, totally bearish market. And so, if you're a trader, stop trading. You're going to lose more money trading this kind of a market than you will making money from it. So, especially if you don't know what you're doing. So the other thing we can kind of see from this chart is we can draw some levels here of resistance and then support, and we can determine, well, it's got to break through a support like this. It's got to break through this support right here, and once it does that, it's got to come up here and break through this, and then we can consider when it breaks through this that we're going to enter a bull run. But again, we don't know when that's going to happen. We don't know if that's going to happen even in the next couple days. There are people saying that we could take months to come back from this kind of a correction, this kind of a major market correction. Nobody really knows for sure. There are a lot of factors that go into it. Again, futures impact the price by quite a bit, and we just don't have a lot of control over that, and we just don't know what is going to happen, frankly. And a lot of people tell you that you want to diversify, and that is important. You do want to diversify and make sure you don't have all your money in one place. But the other thing you have to think about is that every single cryptocurrency at the current time is at least in a small part affected by Bitcoin. And I'll show you this here. So this is Bitcoin. We can go to Litecoin here. Same thing. Ripple is down quite a bit. You can just see this on all the different cryptocurrencies. We can go to even, altcoins, and we see the same thing. Pretty much every cryptocurrency is affected by the price of Bitcoin, and so if Bitcoin is in a major correction like this, everything else is going to be. And so while it is important to diversify, you do have to understand that everything is going to be affected by the price of Bitcoin, and so you can't expect, well, I'm going to put money in this altcoin or in this particular place and not have it be affected. It's just not going to happen. Everything's going to be affected by this, so keep that in mind. The other thing people are talking about a lot is the RSI, and they're saying that we are down at a critical level here. We're down at 30, which anything below 30 is going to be oversold and should indicate that we're going to see a reversal, but this could take days to really develop. We are at a critical point here. We're kind of getting to the point where it's either going to accept this as a level of support and bounce back, or it's going to continue, and we frankly just don't know what is going to happen at this point. So I would say keep an eye on it. If you are a trader, again, you might want to just quit for a little bit, trade something else. If you're into stocks, if you're in the forex market, trade that until this comes back and kind of normalizes, because crypto has volatility as it is. This is just insane. Like, I'll show you here. For example, this here. This is a 1 hour chart, but this happened in about a minute, a couple minutes. It obviously took the rest of the hour to really develop this candle, but this spike here, couple minutes, this happened. So we're just dealing with a ton of volatility, even more than is normal. Usually, even though there is such a high level of volatility in the crypto market, there are trends that you can follow. There are things that you can deduce from the chart, and frankly, everything in this kind of a downtrend is going to be a false signal and not really going to tell you a whole lot. Like this here, it appears to be a bull trend, right? Well, if you're reading the chart, you would say, well, that's not. But if you were new and experienced, you say, well, here we go. We're at the bottom here. We're going to continue up. And then it went down and it continued up a little bit, and you could say, well, we're kind of just testing. We're going to continue, and then it dropped. So you have to keep all this in mind. If you're interested in kind of looking at other people's technical analysis and seeing what other people would predict for the market, again, it's not 100% accurate, nobody knows for sure, but I do enjoy reading some of these and looking at what other people come up with as a prediction. I don't take it as financial advice, and you shouldn't either, but it is at least interesting, and you can see this on TradingView. The other thing I wanted to show you and I wanted to tell you about here in this video is that the Bittrex CEO announced that they're going to start USD trading on their exchange. Now, it sounds great, but what you have to understand is that it's only going to be available for select customers, and likely that is going to be institutional investors, institutions, big investors. So that is something that we need on more exchanges. We need exchanges to add USD trading. It would just make it a lot easier. We don't have to use things like Tether. More and more investors are questioning Tether, and it would just help us to get away from that and a more secure way to hold funds outside of crypto in a market correction like this, or frankly for any other reason. But what you have to understand about this as well is that if more and more institutional investors come on board with money, they can get in on these platforms like Bittrex and start trading. Well, institutions and institutional investors have a lot of money, and so they have a lot of pull in the market. You could see the market strengthen, or you could see more manipulation in the short term. But I think that this is ultimately a good thing. We need more and more exchanges to start adding USD trading. Anyways guys, that's gonna do it for this video. Again, just be careful. If you're a trader, just knock off for a while and maybe trade something a little more secure, maybe the stock market or the forex market, something like that, and wait for this to turn around. Unless you're shorting Bitcoin, you're probably not going to win in this market, at least in the short term here. Thanks for watching guys. If you're not subscribed, definitely go ahead and do that. We got a lot of crypto content coming in the future. And again, don't worry about this. This is a major correction, and it is pretty extreme. You know, we're down from 20,000 there in December to about 7,300 it went down to. So that is a huge drop. But again, we expect it. This is cryptocurrency. This has a lot of volatility, and it has that volatility because frankly, nobody knows what the price of Bitcoin should be. At this point, nobody knows what the value of it should be. And so we're going to see these kind of swings. It's just going to happen, but I believe that it will come back, and it will come back stronger. We definitely appreciate your support. Take care, guys.